Shape builder tool in this example, and we're going to make a camera. So the first thing I want to do is to go over to my toolbar and select my rectangle tool here. Now you'll notice that I've got white fill and black stroke. So I'm going to double click on my white here, and I don't want it to be white. In the end, I want it to end up being this green, but we're going to start off, just kind of make it generic green, just so that I've got something in there and I can see it. And I'm going to leave the stroke as black for right now, because in the end, we do want that black stroke. So I'm going to just kind of roughly bring my cursor and click and drag over the shape that we have there. Now, we can have these smart guides that will see that shape behind us and kind of help us hit like the lines as we want them. I don't have them on for me right now. So I'm going to go up and I'm going to go to my guides, and I'm going to want there to be a check mark next to smart guides. So now if I go up to view, see smart guides, it's got a check mark. Now you'll see that as I move my cursor around, it shows me different things. So it sees that square behind and where the other square is on this example, and it will let me draw my second box. So now I've drawn those two boxes, and now I need to draw the circles. So two things: one, I can't see through this anymore, and two, I need to change to a circle. So the first thing I want to do is I want to make these boxes see-through. I still want the stroke so that I know they're there, but I want to be able to see through them. So I'm going to click on the little drop-down arrow next to my green color. And this white with a red slash through it, it's going to be true throughout Adobe products. That means no. So either no stroke or no fill. In this case, I'm in fill, so it's no fill. And you can see that now I'm going to change to my cursor, the selector tool, because otherwise I'm going to stay in the rectangle. But if I deselect that rectangle, I still see the black box, but I don't see the fill anymore. So I want to do the same thing to the main guy there. So now I have my two black boxes. In fact, I can see that this guy maybe needs to be a little bit deeper to hit there. Okay, great. So now I want to make a circle, but I don't have a circle. Well, remember that these tools, the ones that have the little triangle in the bottom right-hand corner, there's more tools hidden within. So I'm going to click and hold so I see the other ones, and I can get my ellipse tool. Now this is where I really want to be able to see and have those smart guides, because that can show me where I want to start my circle. So again, I'm going to go until it says, okay, I'm at the point where both of the edges of the circle are. I'm going to click and drag. Now, I can click and drag and it's going to go however, but if I hold down the shift, it's going to keep it a perfect circle and not an ellipse. So that looks right, so I'm going to let go. Now it's remembered that I want a black stroke and no fill. It's very smart like that. So I can do the same thing for the last circle. It's a little bit off, but that's all right. Just nudge it down. Perfect. So I've got all these guys, but they're all separate shapes. They're not connected. And yeah, I could group them, but then, yeah, I can have white on top of the green color, but they're not a single object, a single entity, which is what I want. So the first thing I'm going to need to do is to click and drag so I have all four of these shapes selected. Now that I have them all selected, I could group them, but I'm not going to do that. But you'll notice that that's one of the quick actions, and grouping came up when we were doing our image trace. No, instead I want to make a shape. So if I go over to my toolbar here, this weird little, it looks like a cloud that's coming together. This is the shape builder tool, and I want to select that. So now you'll notice that I get, when I kind of go over the shape here, it kind of colors in and it gives me things. You'll notice that there's a plus mark next to the arrow first off. So I'm gonna basically click and I'm gonna drag into the areas I want to be joined. So you can see I've clicked and I've dragged up because I want to join those two objects into one big shape. And you can now see this dotted line and it's made it one shape. Now I've got these two, but I don't want to add them. I want to subtract them. So if you click the option, hold down the option key, and now you'll see my cursor's changed into a minus next to it. I'm going to click that circle. I'm going to click that circle. So now I'm going to change back to cursor. And I should be able to move this guy. And it's knocked out. So how do I know that it's knocked out? Okay, well, let's change that fill and make it back to the screen. And as you can see, I can move the shape around and I can see through those holes. So I've done that right. Yay! You've made a camera!